Imagine stepping off a plane and being greeted by blue water, white sand, and the sweet smell of flowers in the air. That's exactly where we're headed in today's episode, at least in our minds. I'm Lily, and I'm thrilled to have you join us. And I'm Sophie. Honestly, Lily, I still have sand in my shoes from my recent adventure. I can't wait to share all about it. We're diving into Sophie's trip to Fiji, what it looked like, how it felt, and what made it such a paradise. By the end, you'll discover new English words, travel insights, and maybe even want to plan your own island escape. We'll talk about the journey, the sights, the weather, and even those fun travel surprises, like what happens to your hair in tropical humidity. Let's get started. So, Sophie, not everyone knows where Fiji is. How would you describe it to someone who's never seen a picture? Picture a group of islands far out in the South Pacific, with turquoise water and soft white beaches. Fiji is remote, it's a real getaway, but that's what makes it so special. It sounds magical. Did you choose Fiji for a reason, or did it just call your name out of the blue? A bit of both. I've always wanted to visit somewhere that feels untouched and peaceful. The photos online looked unreal, almost too perfect to believe. And one one-hour flight isn't for the faint of heart. How did you keep yourself entertained up there? I went through 3 movies, a mystery novel, and a few small naps. The food wasn't winning any awards, but honestly, just knowing I was on my way to Fiji made time fly faster. I always find airplane food a bit of an adventure on its own. Did you sit by the window, or were you stuck in the middle seat? Luckily, I got a window seat. That made all the difference, especially when the pilot suggested we look outside. The view was unreal. You mentioned seeing small islands from the plane. What went through your mind when you looked down for the first time? It took my breath away. The ocean was this deep blue, and the islands really did look like green jewels scattered across a royal blue blanket. I almost forgot I was tired from sitting so long. That image is so vivid, I can almost see it myself now. I bet that moment wiped away any travel stress. Absolutely, Lily. All the long hours and cramped legs disappeared as soon as I realized how far away from everyday life I really was. So, after all that flying, you finally land. What was stepping off the plane in Nadi like? It was like walking into a warm hug. The air hit me immediately soft, sweet, and full of the scent of tropical flowers. I felt welcome, even before I met anyone. I love that. Sometimes a place has an atmosphere you just feel right away. Did you notice anything else unique about Nadi? Definitely the mix of people tourists with wide eyes and locals with the biggest smiles. There was a sense of excitement and calm at the same time. You joked about your hair getting big from the humidity? Tell me more. Was it really that intense? Oh, Lily, my hair doubled in size the second I got outside. The humidity is no joke. You feel it everywhere. Your clothes, your skin, even your sunglasses fog up. That actually sounds like half the fun of a tropical trip. You just have to embrace the wild hair and go with it. Exactly. After a day or two, I stopped fighting it. It's part of island life. And honestly, the warmth is a welcome change from cold city mornings. You mentioned the locals have the biggest smiles. What was your first interaction with someone from Fiji? The very first person I met was the customs officer. He greeted me with a cheerful "Bula" and asked if it was my first time. He made me feel like I was visiting a friend, not just entering a new country. That's such a warm welcome. Did you notice that hospitality everywhere you went? All the time. People wave, offer to help with directions, and are always quick with a joke or a story. It's impossible not to feel at home. Let's paint a picture for our listeners. What did you see and hear around you the first day? Everywhere I looked, there were palm trees swaying, bright flowers, and bursts of color from tropical birds. The air was filled with the sound of waves and cheerful island music. That sounds like a feast for the senses. Did you have a favorite spot or view that really stuck with you? The beach at sunset, hands down. The sky turned orange and pink, and the whole island just seemed to slow down. Switching time zones can be rough. Did you struggle with jet lag, or did the excitement keep you going? Jet lag definitely hit me, especially that first night. But the sound of the ocean made it easier to relax. I tried to nap under a palm tree, and that helped me adjust faster than I expected. There's something about fresh air and gentle waves that resets your body clock. Do you have any tips for listeners facing long flights? Stay hydrated, get up and stretch, and if you can, arrive during the day so the sunlight helps you adjust. Let's talk about food because travel is always about eating new things. What was your first Fijian meal? It was kokoda, which is a kind of ceviche made from fresh fish, coconut milk, and lime. It was so refreshing after being on a plane for so long. I can imagine. Did you get brave and try anything unusual or unexpected? I did, actually. I tried cassava chips and some very spicy chili sauce. My mouth was on fire, but I just kept eating because it tasted so good. Did you learn any local phrases or customs that stuck with you? Bula is the big one. It means hello, but also brings good energy. I learned to clap before drinking kava, which is a traditional ceremony drink. That's such a cool tradition. Was it easy to connect with people? Or did you feel a bit out of place at first? People were so eager to share their culture that I never felt like a stranger. Every conversation felt genuine. Beaches are great, but did you wander inland too? What adventures did you have outside the typical tourist spots? I went hiking through the rainforest, which was humid but gorgeous. We saw waterfalls and even a few tiny frogs. Exploring those green hills was a highlight so different from the coast. That actually reminds me of how diverse small islands can be. Did you feel like you discovered a new side of Fiji inland? Definitely. The villages were quieter and the pace was slower. It was a beautiful change from the beach crowds. Not every trip goes perfectly. Did you have any little mishaps or funny surprises along the way? Oh, plenty! My suitcase took an extra day to arrive, so I had to buy a very colorful sarong from a local market. I actually ended up loving it. That's the kind of thing that becomes a favorite memory. Any language mix-ups? A few. I kept saying, Vinaka, thank you for everything, even when it didn't quite fit. People just laughed and taught me more words. Now that you're back, what's one thing from Fiji you wish you could bring into everyday life? The relaxed attitude people in Fiji don't rush. I try to remember that, especially when life gets hectic. That's a lesson many of us could use. For our listeners, practicing English with travel stories is a fun way to learn new words and ideas. And sharing your own adventures, even small ones, can make language learning exciting and real. So let's wrap up. First, we learned that traveling even far away brings amazing sights, sounds, and new friends. Second, embracing surprises and mishaps can turn into your best stories. Third, bringing a relaxed, open attitude home can change your daily life. And if you want to keep learning, try writing a short story about your dream trip in English, even if it's just in your imagination. Thank you so much for joining us today. Sophie, it was a joy having you. To everyone listening, remember, adventure is just a story away. Thanks for having me, Lily. Until next time, keep exploring and practicing your English. You know that moment you step off the plane and feel the heat practically styling your hair for you? Well, in Fiji, it wasn't just the humidity that greeted Sophie. That spot on my curls had a mind of their own. But honestly, the first thing that hit me was how every single person said, Beulah, with this wild, contagious energy. I love it already. For everyone tuning in, I'm Lily, and with me today is Sophie, adventurer extraordinaire. We're diving into the magic of Fijian welcomes, the language, and what makes Fiji so open to travelers. Today we'll break down exactly what Bula really means, talk about how easy it is to connect with locals, and even cover how English fits into everyday life there. Plus, I'll share a few moments that convinced me Fiji is the friendliest place I've visited. So, you mentioned everyone greets you with Beulah. Was it literally everyone, everywhere you went? It absolutely felt that way. The second I walked into the airport, the staff, the taxi drivers, even families waiting for relatives, everyone beamed and shouted, Beulah! It set the whole tone for my trip. That kind of energy is sort of infectious, isn't it? It must have made your jet lag almost disappear. Completely! It's almost impossible not to smile back. It made me feel like I belonged, even though I just landed. Let's dig into the word itself. You said Beulah means hello, but there's more to it, right? Yes, exactly. Bula literally translates to life, health, and good wishes. So when someone says it, they're not just greeting you, they're wishing you a good life and happiness every time. I love that! It's like a mini blessing with each hello. That's so different from a quick hi or hey. It really reframes how you think about everyday greetings. It's genuine. The spirit behind it is what makes it special. So let's settle this for listeners. B-U-L-A, right? That's it. 4 simple letters. And you pronounce it like bula. Super straightforward, so anyone can pick it up in seconds. That's reassuring. Sometimes foreign words can be tricky, but this seems almost designed to be easy. Exactly, and people light up when they hear visitors say it, even with an accent. It's really about making the effort. It sounds like greetings are a big deal in Fijian culture. Did you notice that in other parts of daily life too? Absolutely. People greet each other everywhere, from shops to tiny villages. It's deeply woven into their sense of hospitality. You feel instantly included. I imagine that really brings people together. Even for someone traveling solo, that must make a difference. It does, and it makes solo travel much less intimidating. You feel like you're part of a community, not just passing through as a tourist. Let's be honest, a lot of us worry about language barriers when we travel. Would you say bula is the best word to learn first in Fiji? Totally. Even if you only remember one word, make it bula. Locals appreciate the effort, and it opens doors. Plus, it works for almost any occasion: arriving, leaving, even raising a glass at dinner. That's pretty versatile, better than memorizing a whole phrase book on day 1. Exactly. One word, endless smiles. You mentioned people light up when tourists say bula. Did you see any memorable reactions? Oh, absolutely. I remember one market vendor who gave me a huge grin, then insisted I try some local pineapple on the house just for making the effort. It's like you're instantly a friend, not just a customer. That's such a powerful way to break the ice. Little words, big connections. Exactly, and honestly, it made every interaction warmer. It's a great confidence boost for travelers. Now, for listeners who might still worry, the big question: how much English do people in Fiji actually speak? English is one of Fiji's official languages, so it's pretty widespread. From hotels to street markets, almost everyone can chat in English. Communication wasn't a problem at all. That's a relief. It takes so much pressure off when you know you won't be lost in translation. Definitely, especially for first-time travelers or if you're nervous about getting around. I'm curious, does using English change the vibe of conversations, or does it feel pretty natural? It actually feels really seamless. People switch between Fijian and English all the time. Even when you're speaking English, the warmth of Fijian hospitality is always there. So, you don't have to worry about missing out on local culture if you stick to English? Not at all. You still get the full experience, just with a bit of a language safety net. That makes me think, do you feel language plays into how people relate to each other in Fiji? Language is huge, but it's more about attitude. Even if you stumble over a word, people appreciate the effort and meet you halfway. It's all about connection, not perfection. That's honestly reassuring. Sometimes travel makes us self-conscious, but it sounds like people there just want to connect. Exactly, and it takes the pressure off. It's a really supportive environment for travelers. You mentioned earlier that people make you feel like family. Was there a moment that really stood out? One night, a local family invited me to join their dinner. They barely knew me, but we laughed and swapped stories for hours. It was pure, spontaneous hospitality. That sounds so memorable. These are the kinds of moments that make a trip special. Absolutely, and it happens a lot there. It's like everyone is looking for ways to welcome you in. A lot of us hesitate to try out new phrases or customs, afraid we'll mess up. Did you ever feel awkward, or was it just easygoing? There were a few fumbles. My pronunciation was rough at first, but people only laughed with me, never at me. It actually turned awkward moments into great stories and even stronger connections. That's such an important reminder. Sometimes the mistakes make things even better. Exactly. In Fiji, effort is everything. Perfection doesn't matter, warmth does. Let's get practical for a second. What's one thing you'd tell someone going to Fiji for the first time, language-wise? Don't overthink it. Learn bula, use your smile, and let the rest unfold. Locals love to teach you words if you're interested, so you'll pick things up naturally. So it's all about just getting started and being open to the experience. Exactly. And if you ever get stuck, someone will be more than happy to help out. It's a very collaborative energy. All right, let's wrap up with our top 3 takeaways from your time in Fiji. First, learning just one word, bula, goes a long way. Second, don't stress about the language barrier. English is widely spoken, so you'll get by just fine. And third, Genuine effort and openness get you further than perfect pronunciation. So, for anyone planning a trip, your action step. Learn bula tonight. Practice it with a big smile, and don't be shy to use it the moment you land. That tiny word can open up friendships, laughter, and unforgettable memories. Thanks for joining us. Here's wishing you lots of bula on your travels. Ever heard of a tropical paradise where dinner gets buried underground? Today, we're digging into the hidden flavors of Fiji, and trust me, it's more than coconut water and beaches. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm Sophie, and as much as coconuts get all the fame, Fijian food is packed with surprises. By the end, you'll be craving more than just pineapple slices. I'm Lily, and I need to know, what are Fijians really eating? We're unearthing traditions like the lovo, tasting odd drinks, and getting into what truly makes Fijian meals special. We'll talk smoky earth ovens, creamy coconut everything, and the famous kava ceremony plus. I'll share what it's like to eat food that's been under the dirt for hours. Ready for a culinary adventure? Let's go! So first question, does every Fijian meal involve coconuts somehow, or is that just something tourists believe? Coconut definitely makes a lot of appearances, but it's not the only star. They use coconut milk in everything from curries to desserts, but the variety goes way deeper. I always pictured endless coconut water and maybe some tropical fruit, but now you're making me think I missed the main event. That's the thing. Fijian cuisine combines flavors from the sea, the land, and all those lush plants you see everywhere. Coconut's just the beginning. All right, you mentioned something super intriguing, the lovo. Is it a dish, a ritual, or both? It's really a whole experience. Lovo is more like a festival for your senses than just a meal. It's Fiji's version of an earth oven, and making it is half the fun. So, we're talking about digging a hole and cooking inside? That sounds wild compared to my oven at home. Exactly. They dig a pit, heat up big stones until they're basically glowing, and then the magic begins. I love a good culinary process. Walk me through it. After the stones are hot, what goes in first? Once the stones are roaring hot, they wrap meats like chicken, fish, or even pork in huge banana leaves. Those leaves keep all the flavor and juices sealed in. Banana leaves! That's so different. Is it just meat, or do they tuck veggies in there too? Veggies get the same royal treatment: cassava, sweet potatoes, taro roots. Everything goes in, wrapped up, and layered over those stones. Okay, banana leaves sound genius. Is there a specific reason for using them, beyond just holding things together? Absolutely, they do way more than that. Banana leaves lock in the steam so the food gets incredibly tender, and they add a subtle, earthy scent you can't fake. Now I'm picturing this juicy, fragrant feast. Does the flavor of the leaf actually seep into the food? It does! It lends this fresh, almost grassy note. After hours underground, everything is soft and somehow even more delicious. It sounds like a flavor bomb waiting to happen. How long does all this underground magic take? Patience is key. It can take several hours, often 4 or more. The slow cook lets everything soak up smoky, earthy notes from the fire and stones. So while the food's getting tender, what do people do? Just wait around? Or is it a party? Oh, it's definitely a party. There's music, dancing, sometimes even fire performances. The whole village comes together, so it's as much about community as it is about eating. I'd be counting down the minutes. What's it like when they finally open up the lovo? Honestly, it's dramatic. They peel back layers of leaves and dirt, and clouds of steam spill out. The smell is this wild mix of smoke, sweetness, and something green. You're making me wish I could scratch and sniff my headphones right now. Was it the best meal of your trip? It was unforgettable. The meat falls apart, so tender you barely need a fork, and there's this subtle taste from the banana leaves. It's pure comfort food, Fijian style. You mentioned cassava and sweet potatoes. Are these regular dinner sides, or just for special feasts like lovo? You'll see them at everyday meals too. Root vegetables are huge in Fiji. They're filling and stick to your ribs good, especially after a long day at the beach or out fishing. That sounds so hearty. So would you say the lovo is more of a celebration meal than an everyday thing? Definitely. It's reserved for big occasions, weddings, festivals, or whenever the community wants to mark something special. It's a true event. I love that it's more than a meal. There's music and even fire dancing. Totally. While the Lovo cooks, everyone gathers around, sings, and sometimes there's a fire dance, which is just mesmerizing. It's about sharing, not just eating. That really changes my idea of dinner party. The food is only one part of the whole memory. Exactly. The meal brings people together, and the celebration makes it unforgettable. Switching gears for a second, I've heard about this drink called kava. Is it really as strange as people say? Kava is unique, let's say. It looks like muddy water, which definitely freaks some people out, but it's central to Fijian gatherings. So, not the kind of thing you'd sip at a fancy cocktail bar, I take it. Definitely not. It's made by grinding the root of a pepper plant, mixing it with water, and serving it in a big wooden bowl. A pepper plant root? That's not what I expected. What's the point? Does it give you a buzz or something? Kind of, but not like alcohol. It's more of a mellow, calm feeling. Your tongue goes a little numb, and you just feel really relaxed, almost sleepy, but in a good way. Sounds like the ultimate anti-coffee. Is there a ritual to drinking it? Or do people just sip away? Oh, there's a big ceremony. You clap, say Beulah, and drink the whole cup in one go. It's about community and welcome, not getting tipsy. I definitely need a guide. So, you clap before drinking. Are there other rules I'd need to know? It's mostly about respect. Accept the cup with both hands, don't rush, and always thank your host. The sense of ritual makes you feel part of something bigger. Was it awkward for you the first time? Or did you feel welcomed right away? The locals make you feel at ease, everyone laughs. Especially at your first face after tasting kava. It's about sharing the moment. All right, be honest. What does kava actually taste like? Are we talking earthy or, oh no, what did I just drink? Let's just say it's more earthy. My best description is spicy dirt with a hint of root. Not delicious, but the experience makes it worth it. I love that. So it's not about the flavor, it's about being together and sharing something unique. Exactly. You don't drink kava for the taste, but for the connection. That's what sticks with you long after the numbness fades. It's wild how both the Lovo and kava aren't just about what's on your plate or in your cup, they're about coming together. That's spot on. Fijian food traditions are woven into the fabric of their everyday life. Sharing a meal or a drink is how you become part of the community. It sounds like each meal is an event, a reason to celebrate, not just a way to fill up. Exactly, and that's what makes Fijian food culture so memorable. It's about warmth, laughter, and welcoming everyone to the table. Let's wrap up with our top 3 takeaways. First, Fijian food is way more than coconuts. Think smoky underground feasts and creamy fresh flavors. Second, meals are full-on events, mixing food, music, and dance all in one big celebration. You're not just eating, you're making memories. And third, drinks like kava may taste wild, but they're all about community and welcome. The real flavor is in the ritual itself. So, if you want a taste of Fiji at home, try a Lovo-style barbecue, wrap your food in leaves or foil, cook it low and slow, and invite your friends for music and laughter. That's the Fijian spirit. Listeners, picture this. You look down from a boat and see the ocean floor as if the water was a glass table. Sounds impossible, right? It actually happened to me, Lily. Hi everyone, I'm Chloe, back to share my Fiji adventures. Today, we're diving into the famous blue water, vibrant markets, and wild island journeys. We'll find out if Fiji's water lives up to its name, explore a market packed with fruits you've never seen, and ride some unforgettable buses and boats. And we've got a village surprise coming up. So grab your imaginary snorkel, we're starting with the magical Blue Lagoon. Let's dive in. So, Chloe, you really saw that unreal blue water. What was your first impression when you arrived? I couldn't believe it. The colors were so intense, bright turquoise turning pale near the sandy shore. It's almost like someone turned up the saturation in real life. Did the boat ride add to the magic? Or were you already dreaming of jumping in? Honestly, I was leaning over the edge, just staring down. You could see every ripple and even tiny fish, without even getting wet. Pure crystal. I have to know, did you get in the water right away? Or were you nervous to swim out so far from shore? At first, I hesitated. The ocean looks endless from the surface. But my guide, Manu, was patient and calming. He told me to breathe slowly and remember, the fish are your friends. That's oddly reassuring. Did it work? It did. The moment I put my face in the water, all fear faded. I was just mesmerized by this world of color below me. What did you actually see down there? Was it just sand and seaweed or something more dramatic? Way more dramatic. The coral reefs rose like little underwater mountains, all shades of purple, yellow, and hot pink. It's like a rainbow exploded underwater. So much for the brown coral stereotype. And all those colors are alive? Exactly. Coral is made of millions of tiny animals. Fragile, beautiful, and alive. You have to be careful not to touch, because even a small brush can do damage. Besides the coral, what about the fish? Anything that stood out? So much! Thousands of tiny blue fish moving as one, like a living cloud. And then this massive parrotfish, all orange, green, and blue, chomping on coral like it was breakfast cereal. Did it really sound like crunching? Yes! You could hear crunch, 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 even underwater. It's wild how loud a hungry fish can be. Okay, real talk, did you see anything scary? Like, I don't know, a shark? Actually, yes. I spotted a white-tip reef shark. At first, I froze, but Manu just pointed and smiled. He knew it was safe. The shark was napping on the sandy bottom, totally ignoring us. So you didn't have to swim for your life? Not at all. When I got closer, it just woke up and zipped away. I think it was more scared of me. You mentioned not touching the coral. Why is that such a big deal? Coral is super fragile. Even sunscreen or a small kick from your fin can hurt it. These reefs take decades to grow, but just seconds to damage. Protecting them keeps this magical world alive for future visitors. So it's a privilege, not a playground. That definitely adds to the respect factor. Exactly. It's like being a guest in someone else's spectacular home. You want to leave it as beautiful as you found it. Let's dry off and get our land legs back. You visited the famous Naughty Market, right? Oh, absolutely. The market is the town's heartbeat, especially on a busy Saturday. There's this symphony of voices, scents, and color that hits you the moment you walk in. Was it overwhelming or just exciting? Exciting! It's a sensory overload in the best way, people haggling, the zing of spices, and piles of fruits everywhere. Did you spot anything unexpected on the veggie stands? Definitely. Taro and cassava everywhere. They look ugly like giant bumpy potatoes, but Fijians eat them every day instead of bread or rice. Do they taste anything like potatoes? Sort of. Taro is purple and nutty, cassava is white and super soft when cooked. They fill you up, but each has a unique flavor. What about the fruit? I heard Fijian pineapples are on another level. Completely true. Pineapples taste like pure sugar and cost almost nothing. The bananas are tiny but pack so much sweetness. It's fruit paradise, honestly. Did you try anything new or stick with the classics? I tried everything. Papayas, mangoes, one local woman even taught me how to sniff out a ripe one. If you're friendly and say Beulah, they'll often give you a slice to taste. That generosity sounds so special. Was the market as colorful as I've heard? Even more. The women selling fruit wore bright dresses, and the stalls were stacked high with yellow, red, and green fruit. It felt like walking through a festival. That alone makes me want to book a ticket. Did you practice your English there? I did, but honestly, the friendliness and warmth made communicating easy. Even a smile goes a long way in Fiji. All right, let's get practical. How did you get around? I heard about the mysterious yellow bus. Yes, and it actually is bright yellow. No windows, just open air and plastic covers if it rains. For 3 hours, I paid only $5, but comfort was, let's say, basic. Did you see anything unusual on board? So much. Chickens, big bags, music blasting people brought everything. But the atmosphere was joyful. By the end, everyone was chatting like old friends. And for hopping between islands, what's the secret transport there? That's where the longboat comes in. It's wooden, with a huge motor, and you're guaranteed to get soaked. The ride can be smooth in the morning, but by afternoon, you're bouncing over waves like a roller coaster. Was it scary when the water got rough? A little, but the captain was calm and even sang along to the radio. If you love adventure, you'll love it. If not, there's always the big, steady ferry. So, give us the golden rule for Fiji travel bus or boat. What should we know? Bring flexibility and a sense of humor. Don't wear your favorite clothes on the longboat, you'll end up drenched. And on the bus, be ready for some lively company and unexpected stops. It sounds like half the fun is just getting there. Any last transport advice? Absolutely. If you're open to the local experience, you'll see a totally different Fiji than what's in the brochures. Chloe, what a ride! Let's wrap up with our 3 big takeaways from your Fiji journey. First, Fiji's blue water is every bit as real and magical as the photos. Second, local markets and food reveal the true heart of the islands. Third, saying Beulah and joining in makes every adventure richer. Love those. What's one thing our listeners should try if they go? Definitely hop on the local bus or longboat, even if it's just for a short ride. You'll meet locals, see the real Fiji, and maybe get a little wet, but you'll have the best stories. Thanks for sharing all this, Chloe. And listeners, next time, we'll dig into that surprise Chloe had in the Fijian village. Until then, keep exploring. Ever wondered what it's really like to step inside a Fijian village far from tourist hotels and glossy brochures? Today, we're diving into the real Fiji, with stories you won't find in travel ads. That's right! I'm Chloe, and with Lily, we're going to reveal the side of Fiji that changed the way I think about travel. From heartfelt welcomes in mountain villages to mud-splattered laughter in the rain, it's so much more than palm trees. So if you're curious about village traditions, ancient firewalking, or how to slow down when the rain pours, this episode is for you. We'll talk about real Fijian customs, the story behind firewalking, how locals embrace rainy days, and even teach you essential Fijian phrases. Let's get started with what moved me most: the people and the powerful rituals of respect in a Fijian koro. Chloe, you mentioned visiting a small village called a koro. What made it so memorable compared to the resort experience? The energy was completely different. In a koro, every step is about tradition and respect. You don't just stroll in, there's a whole protocol. Even approaching felt special, like entering a sacred space. So it's not just a place, it's really a living community governed by its own set of rules. I love that. What's the first thing you noticed when you arrived? Honestly, the quiet. No cars, no buzz, just people greeting you, and the sound of kids playing. But before you go further, there's that first big rule: take off your hat. Wait, take off your hat? That might sound small, but I bet it means a lot there, especially under the hot sun. Exactly! In the koro, only the chief is allowed to wear anything on his head. If you keep your hat on, it's like declaring you're the boss. I had to remind myself, hat off always. That's such a direct way to show respect. Did it feel odd at first, or was it easy to adapt? A little odd, but honestly, once you're there and see everyone else following the rule, it becomes second nature. It actually made me more aware of how I was carrying myself. Besides hats, what else should visitors know about how to dress in a koro? Covering your shoulders and knees is a must. I wore a sulu, a long piece of fabric you tie around your waist. It's not just respectful, it's actually really comfortable in the heat. That sounds practical. So both men and women wear the sulu? Absolutely. It's unisex, and you see everyone, adults, kids wearing them. It feels almost like putting on team colors. You're part of the community for a day. I'm curious, did you get to meet the chief? That must have felt pretty formal. It was, but also incredibly warm. We brought a kava root as a gift, which is a big tradition. The chief accepted it, smiled, and said, "Welcome home." For a moment, I felt like part of their family. That's such a powerful gesture. Welcome home. It's amazing how hospitality can break down barriers. Exactly. In Fiji, they truly mean it when they say, "My house is your house." That's not just a saying, it's a way of life. What did you notice about everyday village life? Anything that really stayed with you? The kids! They were playing soccer with a ball made of old socks. No fancy toys, just laughter echoing through the whole village. It's impossible not to smile watching them. It sounds like happiness there doesn't depend on having the latest gadgets or gear. Not at all. Their joy is contagious. Being around them reminded me how little you actually need to feel connected and genuinely happy. Speaking of traditions, I have to ask, is the Fijian firewalking I've seen online actually real? It's absolutely real! I watched the whole ritual on Beka Island. The men spent hours burning logs and heating stones until they glowed red. The air shimmered with heat. It felt otherworldly even before anyone stepped forward. Just picturing that makes me nervous. How do they even manage to walk on those stones? That's the mystery. They walk slowly, calm, and focused. Not a single grimace. Some say it's a spiritual gift, some say it's science, but whatever the reason, when you see it up close, it's pure magic. You actually got near the stones after the ritual. Was there any trick to it? Honestly, not at all. I couldn't even stand close. The air felt like sticking my face in an oven. Scientists say those stones don't trap heat for long, but standing there, it feels like something supernatural is at work. That blend of spiritual belief and natural science is fascinating. It must have left a big impression on you. Absolutely. It made me realize how tradition and environment can combine to create something unforgettable. Let's shift gears. Fiji is famous for sunshine, but what about rainy days? Rain in Fiji isn't just a drizzle, it's a dramatic downpour. 1 minute, blue skies, the next, you're soaked. At first, I worried it would ruin my plans, but I soon learned to embrace it, Fijian style. So the locals don't let the rain get to them? Not at all. It's almost like a signal to slow down, grab tea, and enjoy time with friends. Listening to the rain on a tin roof is hypnotic. It turns a rainy day into a mini holiday. Did you ever just give in and play in the rain? Or was it all porch sitting for you? I couldn't resist. Seeing kids sliding in the mud got me off my chair. Before I knew it, I was covered in brown mud, laughing like a 5-year-old. It's so different from cold rain elsewhere, the water is actually warm. That sounds like the best kind of spontaneous fun. And once you're all muddy straight to the ocean for a rinse? Exactly. It was freeing, honestly. You let go of schedules and stress and just live in the moment. Before we wrap up, can you teach us a few essential Fijian words beyond bula? Definitely. After bula for hello, vinaka is crucial. It means thank you, and you'll be saying it constantly whether you're being served food or just chatting. And if you're feeling extra grateful, what should you say? Then you pull out the big one, vinaka vakalevu. It means thank you very much, and people love hearing it from visitors. How about saying goodbye? How do you not trip over that word? It's mose, spelled M-O-C-E, but the C sounds like T-H, so you say mo, the. It tripped me up at first, but everyone appreciated me trying, even when I got it wrong. That's such a warm approach. Mistakes are met with smiles, not eye rolls. Exactly. Fijians are more focused on the effort than the pronunciation. It's one of a dozen reasons their hospitality stands out. You know, it feels like the real magic is in those smiles and little exchanges, not just the big traditions. Absolutely. Even if you stumble over a word or forget a rule, you're met with kindness. That spirit makes visiting Fiji feel like coming home, even for a stranger. It's a beautiful reminder that connection doesn't need perfection, it just takes openness and a willingness to try. Definitely. In Fiji, kindness is the true universal language. Let's wrap up with the big takeaways. First, deep respect shapes every interaction in Fijian villages, from hats off to heartfelt welcomes. Second, real joy doesn't come from things, it comes from laughter, play, and the willingness to embrace life, rain or shine. And third, language is a bridge, not a barrier. A simple bula or vinaka goes a long way, especially when paired with a genuine smile. So if you're heading to Fiji, or just want to bring a bit of that spirit home, try slowing down in the rain, learning a local word, or just letting yourself play for once. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best travel experiences are about people, not places. Ever dreamed of arriving at a hotel where rushing is almost a crime? That's exactly how it felt when I checked into a resort in Fiji. I have to ask, was your experience as laid back as everyone says? You have no idea. It was the smoothest, slowest check-in ever. They call it Fiji time. The pace is, well, let's just say you can almost feel your heartbeat slow down. That phrase alone makes me want to book a flight. So, for travelers used to big city speed, what does Fiji time actually mean in practice? It's a whole philosophy. If your room isn't ready, you just grab a drink and watch the ocean. If the bus is late, no one bats an eye. Everyone's chill, and honestly, it's contagious. You realize there's no reason to stress. That actually reminds me, let's give our listeners something practical. How about a quick English roleplay of a hotel check-in? I'll be the hotel worker, you be the guest. Ready? Let's go! I'm channeling my best excited but slightly jet-lagged visitor energy. Bula! Welcome to the Sunshine Resort. How can I help you today? Bula! I have a reservation. My name is Chloe Smith. One moment, please. Ah, yes. Miss Smith, we have a lovely room with an ocean view for you. May I see your passport? Of course. Here you go. And, what time is breakfast? Breakfast is from 7 to 10 a.m. in the main restaurant. Here's your key for room 204. Oh, and about Wi-Fi? Yes, but don't expect lightning speed. That's honestly part of the charm. The Wi-Fi password was Bula2026, but nobody's streaming movies in paradise. Slower internet just means more time watching the waves. I love that attitude. It really drives home the idea. You're on Fiji time now, so let go of the daily rush. Exactly. It's surprisingly freeing when you stop checking your phone every 2 minutes. Slowing down makes every moment feel like a mini vacation. If you're learning English, that roleplay is pure gold. The sentences are simple and useful, like, "Can I see your passport?" or "What time is breakfast?" Definitely. And what's great is, in Fiji, people are so friendly. Even if you stumble with your English, they're patient, and a smile takes you a long way. That's so reassuring for travelers who feel nervous about language barriers. You don't need perfect grammar, just a little confidence and some basics. And toss a cheerful Bula at the start of any conversation. It cracks open doors and hearts instantly, I promise. Switching gears, I have to know, did you ever get lost exploring those lush island paths? Fiji looks like a place where every trail could become an adventure. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. On my third day, I wandered off to find a hidden waterfall and completely lost my sense of direction. 30 minutes in, all I could see were endless green trees. That sounds both magical and a little scary. Was it getting late, or did you still have daylight? Luckily, it was only early afternoon. Still, when every tree looks the same, your imagination starts doing tricks. I definitely felt a bit nervous before help arrived. I can only imagine. Did you try using your phone's GPS, or was that a lost cause in the middle of the jungle? I did try, but there was no cell signal, nothing but the sound of birds. So I just kept walking until I spotted a small house with an old man sitting outside. That moment felt like a rescue. Honestly, meeting a local in that situation sounds cinematic. Did he speak English, or was there some creative sign language involved? He spoke English, thank goodness. I went for the simplest English I could. Excuse me, I am lost. Where is the waterfall? He laughed and instantly knew I was way off track. So you were heading toward the mountains, not the waterfall? That's classic. How did he guide you back? He pointed me toward a big mango tree and told me to turn left at the river. When I nervously asked, "Is it far?" he just grinned and said, 10 minutes. That sounds like the perfect mix of practical and laid back. Did you eventually find the waterfall? I did, and it was worth every wrong turn. I had the whole place to myself swimming in cold, clear water. Sometimes getting lost leads to the best stories. That's such a good lesson for travelers if you get lost. Just ask for help. People really do want to help, especially in Fiji. Absolutely. Locals are incredibly kind, and if you're polite and try to communicate, you might even make a new friend. It's all part of the adventure. Plus, those moments become stories you'll always remember. Getting lost isn't always a setback. It can be an unexpected highlight. Totally! Looking back, I wouldn't trade that waterfall detour for anything. It's now one of my favorite memories from the trip. Speaking of adventure, you traveled alone for a while. Did you ever feel lonely, or was it easy to connect with people? Surprisingly, not lonely at all. Fiji is one of the easiest places to meet people. Everyone's so open and curious, it actually feels weird to not have a chat with strangers. That's what every solo traveler hopes for. So, how do you break the ice? What's your go-to strategy for starting a conversation? Honestly, I keep it simple. I comment on the weather or food like, "This pineapple is delicious," or "The sun is strong today, isn't it?" It's all about small talk. It's funny how effective small talk can be. Do you have a story of a random chat that turned into something more? Oh, definitely. I met a woman named Mara at the bus stop. She was carrying a giant bag of ginger. I just blurted out, "Wow, that's a lot of ginger. What's it all for?" That's such a fun opener. Did she dive into conversation with you? She did. She told me all about making ginger tea for a cold, chatted for 20 minutes, and even handed me a piece of ginger as a souvenir. By the time the bus came, we felt like old friends. So, the secret is simple curiosity and a big smile, right? Exactly. Ask about what people are doing, show you're interested, and always say "bula" with genuine warmth. Smiles truly are a universal language in Fiji. That universal friendliness seems to be Fiji's superpower. I love that you can connect over something as small as a piece of ginger. It's honestly one of the main reasons I'd go back. Every day felt like a masterclass in making new friends the easy way. All right, let's get practical for a moment. If someone's packing for Fiji, what are your top 5 absolute essentials? Okay, here's my list. First, sunscreen, seriously, you'll burn fast. Second, a hat. Third, insect repellent. Fiji's mosquitoes don't mess around. Fourth, a sulu, which is a long scarf to cover your knees in villages. Fifth, a waterproof phone bag for all those boat trips and sudden rain showers. That's super helpful. Sunscreen and a sulu are things people might forget if they've never been. Anything else that's a definite no-go? Leave the high heels at home. The ground is sandy, muddy, and you want your feet to feel free. Flip-flops or sandals are perfect. High heels in Fiji, now that's a funny image. I love your line about freeing your feet. It sums up the relaxed vibe perfectly. Seriously, nothing feels better than kicking off your shoes and walking on sand. Fiji just invites you to slow down and be comfortable in every way. I can practically feel the sand between my toes just from this conversation. Packing light and smart really means you get to enjoy the island more. Exactly. Comfort is king in Fiji, whether you're hiking, swimming, or just lounging on the beach with a coconut. Let's wrap up with some key takeaways. First, embrace Fiji time slower isn't just okay, it's the point. Second, don't hesitate to ask for help if you get lost. Local kindness goes a long way. Third, start conversations with curiosity and a smile. You'll make friends in no time. And for everyone dreaming about a trip, start prepping your packing list now. Bring what you truly need, leave the stress behind, and be ready to experience Fiji with open arms. Your next step? Practice those simple travel phrases, toss your sunscreen and sandals in a bag, and start imagining yourself on a tropical island. Chloe, thank you for sharing your stories. This episode was a mini vacation in itself. Thank you. I hope this inspires our listeners to dive into adventure, one bula at a time. See you all next episode.